Hello, lovely. I'm Maria.
And my name is Rory, and we are the hosts of the IELTS Speaking for Success podcast, the podcast that aims to help improve your speaking skills as well as your listening skills along the way.
We've started this podcast to give you gorgeous grammar and fabulous vocabulary for your high IELTS score. Bad night score.
Oh, sorry I'm late, Maria. I had a meeting.
Oh, that's okay. I'm a very patient person.
Oh my, shall we talk about patience? Yes.
What a coincidence. On this podcast, yes, dear listener, patience is the topic. Not about hospitals or health, like patients and patients. You mean like people who go to hospital and who are treated in hospitals, they're called patients. But we're talking about patience. I am a patient person. I'm calm and, like old Zen. I'm patient. And Rory is, how patient are you?
An impatient person. I aspire to be patient, but I probably fail every day. Anyway, let's talk about patience.
Rory, are you a patient person?
I mean, I like to think so, yes. I'm generally pretty good at managing my emotions when people aren't doing what they should be. Of course, I'm not perfect. It's harder at sometimes compared to others. Like when I'm in a rush, then I'm probably less likely to have time for people.
Are you more patient now than you were when you were a child?
Yeah, I certainly think so. I feel like kids in general tend to need they need instant gratification, and it was no different when I was younger. Now that I've had a bit more life experience and cognitive development, it's definitely easier to hold myself in check.
Does your job require you to be patient?
I'd say it requires more patience on the part of my students than for me personally. My job is to find things that work for them. So if something doesn't work, it's easy for me to find alternatives. But for them, it could be quite a frustrating experience, especially to experience failure, since it's an investment of their time and money and they want to do well.
How do you feel when you have to do something for a long time?
Well, I suppose that's contingent on what I have to do, really. If it's something like, something I like, such as reading, then I don't really have a problem getting on with it. But if it's something I think is quite dull or pointless, then I get put off pretty quickly, and it's very evident that my heart just isn't in it.
What is it that makes you feel impatient?
Well, generally when people waste my time. Or rather, when they can be perceived as wasting it. I have a lot to do in my life, and I don't like sitting around doing nothing if it can be helped. So when people get cavalier with my time, I tend to get annoyed fairly quickly.
As you know, we now release all of our premium content for free, and it's available for 1 month. After 1 month, it goes into our super secret archive. To sign up for the archive, click the link in the description below. See you soon.
So, dear listener, patient. To be patient is an adjective, and this means that you have the ability to wait or suffer without complaining or becoming annoyed, or to continue doing something despite the difficulties. For example, you get stuck in a traffic jam and then I hate it, I'm getting annoyed, you should be patient, So we are patient with people. You should be patient with her. Or the opposite. What's the opposite, Rory, if you are not patient?
Impatient.
Yeah, impatient. So I'm impatient with small children. And here you can say, I'm a patient person overall, or I'm generally pretty good at being patient. Or here we're talking about managing your emotions. So anger, anxiety, these are our emotions. You can say, I'm pretty good at managing my emotions, or I'm not good at managing my emotions.
I always think it depends on the time of day and the situation. Oh, in fact, I remember reading about this. They did a study with federal judges in America, and if they did not eat before they gave sentences to criminals, then the sentences were much harder.
Oh, yeah.
So this just goes to show being hangry is a real thing. So if you want to be patient, then you should definitely avoid being hungry when you have to make decisions.
Yeah, it's like angry, to be angry and hungry. Yeah, no, not a good combination. When I'm in a rush, when I have to do something really quickly, I'm rushing about like, oh, I don't have time, this. So when I'm in a rush, I usually get really impatient. You remember that when the examiner asks you something about your childhood, you say used to. So I used to be a very patient child. Or a super impatient child. I really enjoyed how you said it. Now I've had more life experience and now I've had more cognitive development. Nice. Roy, what do you mean your cognitive development? You've developed cognitively.
Yes. So you have patterns of thought in your head that you've created over time and through experience that allow you to cope with situations much better than before.
Yeah.
How effective they are is a matter of opinion.
And now it's easier for me to hold myself in check.
But that just means to have control over yourself and your emotions.
So hold something in check. Or hold myself in check. Well, for example, like I've learned to keep my temper in check. Like temper, like how angry I can get. My job requires me to be patient or doesn't require me to be patient. So it requires, like I have to be patient. And sometimes it could be quite frustrating.
So when you're frustrated, you're trying to do something, but you're failing to do it.
Yeah, it's actually C1.
Oh my god. Okay, I was thinking that would be like B2, band 6.
No,
Wow,
It's
okay.
a C1 word, yeah. So making you feel annoyed. Like my job could be frustrating. It makes me feel annoyed, less confident. I can't achieve it. Like I'm trying to get a band 8 for writing and I can't do it. So it's really frustrating. So I could get impatient or like usually I get impatient when I'm frustrated. Or something is frustrating. Being patient or having patience means being able to wait calmly in the face of frustration. And when you have to wait for something for a long time, or when you do certain activities which take a long time, like you should be patient, ideally. And that's why the question is like about activities, like what you do for a long time, like what's going on. And here Rory says, that's contingent on what I have to do. Meaning that depends on what I have to do. That's contingent. Mm-hmm.
Surely that's got to be a C2 level expression.
Contingent. No, it doesn't say. Nothing about the level, according to the Cambridge Online Dictionary, sorry. But yeah, it's a less commonly used word. It's pretty formal, dear listener. It's contingent on. It's formal. Or upon.
I'm going to say that it's C2 because I think I said it during my exam.
Sweet, yeah, like it's contingent on the weather. It depends on the weather. Yeah, but formal. Usually in natural speaking, native speakers don't use it. I don't know, like, Roy, do your friends use it? You're watching a film and then like your friend goes like, yeah, it's contingent on what he'll do next in the movie. No, they don't do this, right?
Well, I suppose it depends on what we're talking about. If it's like a logically structured argument, then you're more likely to use the word contingent. Depends how often you have logically structured arguments with your friends.
Yeah, but again, like a logically structured arguments is kind of something more formal rather than just a simple chat about a movie.
Yeah.
If it's like reading, I don't have a problem getting on with it. So I don't have a problem getting on with reading. So doing the reading. But if it's something dull like boring or pointless, I get put off quickly. So to get put someone off means to take someone's attention away from what they want to be doing. So nothing will put me off this TV show. So I will watch it no matter what. But if you get put off something, then kind of your attention focuses on something else. Or kind of like it can also mean to make someone dislike something. For example, like this smell, disgusting smell, puts me off, like I don't like it. Or this person puts me off. Or you have to work long hours, and that puts off a lot of people. So they don't like it, they feel discouraged. And here we can say that, well, if I do something dull or pointless, I get put off quickly. So I'm like impatient. I get impatient really quickly. You can also say that good things really do come to those who wait. So that's about patience, meaning that like if we are good at waiting, if we wait, then like goodies of life will come to us. So to be patient, and to be able to wait patiently, actually patiently as an adverb. So good things really do come to those who wait, to people who wait. I try to be a patient person. And Roy, do you know like what the benefits of patience are? Why is it good to be patient?
That's a very good question. Can you tell me, please?
Yes, of course. It's mindful.org, okay? The benefits of being a patient person. Dear listener, for you, from Maria. So, patience supports our mental health. Patience helps reach personal goals. And patience is linked to hopefulness, we are hopeful, and positive outlook. You can say that I've got an interpersonal patience. Interpersonal, meaning like when you meet annoying people, you treat them in a calm way.
Is there anything about the benefits of being impatient there?
No.
Yes, it's interesting that. I wonder if there are some benefits to being impatient. For example, if you're impatient, people might be more likely to help you because they're like, oh my God, I don't want the person's moods to get worse. This depends entirely on the kind of person you are, of course. You might not feel very good about it.
Impatience can be a motivator, driving you to action and helping you prioritize what's truly important. Okay, people, 3 unexpected reasons why being impatient can be good for you. So, fastcompany.com. There you go. You can Google this article. Pretty interesting stuff. Okay. Yeah, and they also write about like being frustrated, being angry, being stressed or anxious. So a focus of efficiency. So impatient people have a focus on efficiency, action-oriented. Okay. You can say that my impatience helped me to be action-oriented. Yay. Nice. Yeah, and they like have some research. Motivation. Okay. Impatience can be motivating. There you go. And perseverance. Rory, what's perseverance? A nice word.
Isn't perseverance just continuing despite difficult conditions?
Fastcompany.com, thank you very much.
I realized it there just as we were talking. We talked a lot about patience and the vocabulary connected to that today, but a more general point I'd like to add, this is just based on my own experience with the exam, is when I said in my answer to the last question, or rather when they can perceive, or whether people can be perceived as wasting time. This is something I talked about in my exam because my examiner asked me if or why people are more focused on having a work-life balance. And I said, well, I think they've always been concerned with this actually. And she argued with me and said, yes, but they're more focused on it now, aren't they? And I said, no, I think it's just the perception of that is in the media. It's not really a thing. So there you go. You can also talk about not what is the case, but also how things are perceived as well.
Dear listener, please don't argue with the examiner, okay? Like, Rory can pull it off. Like, he's educated, he's been with IELTS for a long time. But please, dear listener, choose like neutral things, the most obvious ideas, perhaps.
You can talk about how things are perceived, though.
Yeah, don't argue with the examiner. If you see that the examiner is not happy, and if they're raising their eyebrows, like looking at you as if you are an alien, you know, like this, what are you saying? You see that, yeah, but kind of change your idea.
Well, I think she was more entertained by the idea than anything else, because I was just
really
like,
entertained.
No, it's not like that.
Okay.
It's this other thing. Yeah. We were laughing throughout the whole thing because it was just ridiculous.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Yeah, that's important to mention. All right. Yes. Then it's okay. Yeah, but if, dear listener, you are sitting there and the examiner is kind of like looks at you like, huh? What? What are you telling me? Interesting, Rory. Very interesting. You were laughing, you were cracking jokes, you were kind of bombarding the examiner with your band 9 ideas. Wow.
Well, I don't think we cracked jokes. I just think we were laughing about it because I was asked different things and some of the things were just very strange. But this is one that I thought would be very relevant to this particular episode because how things are perceived to be, or what we think they are like, is not always what they are.
Thank you very much for listening. And we'll get back to you in our next episode. Bye.
Bye.
Rory, are you a patient person?
I mean, I like to think so, yes. I'm generally pretty good at managing my emotions when people aren't doing what they should be. Of course, I'm not perfect. It's harder at sometimes compared to others. Like when I'm in a rush, then I'm probably less likely to have time for people.
Are you more patient now than you were when you were a child?
Yeah, I certainly think so. I feel like kids in general tend to need they need instant gratification, and it was no different when I was younger. Now that I've had a bit more life experience and cognitive development, it's definitely easier to hold myself in check.
Does your job require you to be patient?
I'd say it requires more patience on the part of my students than for me personally. My job is to find things that work for them. So if something doesn't work, it's easy for me to find alternatives. But for them, it could be quite a frustrating experience. Especially to experience failure, since it's an investment of their time and money and they want to do well.
How do you feel when you have to do something for a long time?
Well, I suppose that's contingent on what I have to do, really. If it's something like, something I like, such as reading, then I don't really have a problem getting on with it. But if it's something I think is quite dull or pointless, then I get put off pretty quickly, and it's very evident that my heart just isn't in it.
What is it that makes you feel impatient?
Well, generally when people waste my time, or rather when they can be perceived as wasting it, I have a lot to do in my life, and I don't like sitting around doing nothing if it can be helped. So when people get cavalier with my time, I tend to get annoyed fairly quickly.